What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and I didn't think I'd be filming, editing, and uploading another video already today. I already posted one about the Toronto Maple Leafs hiring a new assistant coach, but today I've got some rumors that obviously, if you're a fan of the NHL, you've probably heard about the Phil Kessel and the Minnesota Wild rumors. So I'm just going to break down everything that's happened. I have the info here in front of me because there is a lot of really interesting things that are happening here. So if we're looking at some of the tweets that have been put out, Pierre LeBrun's been all over this right now, and I'll show you guys on the screen as well. I'm trying this new way of editing the videos so far. There's going to be more improvements, but Pierre LeBrun basically quote tweeted an article that was posted by Josh Yeo, I believe from The Athletic, and if that's not how you pronounce his name, I apologize, but he posted about the Penguins and Wild possibly talking about a trade, and Pierre LeBrun put, "What I'm hearing is Kessel at the moment is not leaning towards waiving his no-trade clause." Of course, he has to waive that if any deal was going to go about, but he's not waiving it so far to go to Minnesota, but that doesn't mean it ultimately couldn't happen eventually. However, there are a few clubs on his 8-team yes list that have contacted Pittsburgh, so we'll see where that goes. So teams are calling about Pittsburgh Penguins. Phil Kessel, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, a really good, I guess you could say, elite scorer in the league. I mean, the guy's been doing it for years now. Pierre LeBrun followed that up by saying, Penguins GM Jim Rutherford continues to talk to other teams about Kessel. It's a question of when, not if, for Kessel to be dealt, but where exactly remains to be determined. So Kessel's not going to be a Penguin next year. So Penguins fans, if you're a fan of him, I apologize for you guys because I am a fan of Kessel. I actually have a Penguins Kessel t-shirt that I got right when he was traded from Toronto because I'm a fan. I don't wear it a lot because I'm not a Penguins fan, but just supporting him. I like Phil Kessel, and I'm sure Penguins fans aren't exactly too happy about this because you know what? You always want great scores like that, but Pittsburgh's in kind of a retooling phase. Of course, we seen last year, this past season, Pittsburgh get bounced in the first round by the Islanders, swept. Like, that obviously wasn't something that they were expecting. I wasn't expecting it. I thought the veteran presence of the Penguins would be able to take them out, but the Islanders were a great story this year. Regardless if I'm a Leaf fan, you have to give credit where it's due, and the Islanders were a fantastic team this year. They proved a lot of people wrong, and hats off, congratulations to them. They had a great run. Minnesota was not in the playoffs. I believe they were 5th, in the wild card standings. They were 7 points out of a playoff position, out of the wild card spot. So they're looking to make some moves. But the Minnesota Wild are an older team. Like, they have older talent on that team. You know, Parise, Sutter, Stahl, like they've got a lot of older players there, and I think Eric Fair's even under contract, although, you know, those guys are good players, like, don't get me wrong, but I think Minnesota wants to get younger, but with a trade like this, you are bringing in talent, like you're bringing in Phil Kessel, but you're not exactly getting younger. I believe Kessel will be 32 or 33 this year, I think it's 32, but it would be a huge move. Now, this is the thing where it's been reported by a bunch of different people that the trade could involve 4 pieces that the deal would be centered around. Again, this could be inaccurate, but this is what Sportsnet and TSN have both been saying, and the Athletic article, the article from the Athletic also said that it would be a trade where it'd be Phil Kessel and Jack Johnson from the Penguins, of course, for Victor Rask and Jason Zucker. So Rask and Johnson both have pretty bad deals. Let's be honest here, they're both not really performing to their contract, whereas Zucker is a guy that actually can help the Penguins, Kessel can help the Wild, and who knows, obviously Johnson and Rask, maybe they can help other teams out, or they can help those other teams out, like they can help Pittsburgh, they can help Minnesota, but they're kind of just the swapping of bad contracts here to see if it's a better fit for both of them. So it could benefit no matter what happens in this move. But if we're looking at the points here, I have it pulled up for you guys. These are the 4 main pieces that would be in the deal. So Phil Kessel, of course, this year in the playoffs had 2 points. Career playoff number, 77 points in 87 games. Obviously really good. This year he had 82 points in 82 games. And we know Phil Kessel's the type of guy that can have big years. I believe he has had a 90-point season, 1 or 2 of them. Maybe both of them were with Pittsburgh, but he led the Toronto Maple Leafs in scoring every year that he was a part of the team. In his career, 823 points in 996 career games played. And he's been an Iron Man. Knock on wood for that if you have wood around you, because we want Kessel to keep playing. And then, of course, Johnson, Not the best in the playoffs, had no points in 3 games. And his career playoff numbers are not too bad, actually, 21 in 26. His season this year, again, not very good, 13 points in 82 games. But in his NHL career, not too bad, 291 in 870 games played, and that he's a defenseman, of course. Then we move over to the Minnesota Wild. Zucker, 81 games played this year. He had 42 points, and in his career, 214 points in 411 games played. And then Rask, this year, he had 9 points in 49 games. Definitely not a good season for him. 166 points in 362 games played. So those would be the 4 main guys in the deal if it were to happen, and that's what's being discussed. There could be picks, there could be prospects. Some of those guys might not even be in the deal. We have no idea. But right now, the Minnesota Wild have, I believe, $21 million in cap space. They would be adding on a bunch of salary, but they would also be moving out salary, so they would still be okay. They don't have a lot of big names to sign to contracts, and they could probably make another move if they wanted to. Whereas Pittsburgh, they're kind of tied up to the cap. They have like $4 million or less. I think it's like $3.2 or $3.4 million in cap space. If we look at it, I think I can find it right here. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Penguins right now, projected cap space, $3.2 million. And then if we move over here to the Minnesota Wild, it says $21 million so it's $21.4 million in cap space. So Minnesota definitely would have more room to add if they wanted to. But adding a guy like Phil Kessel would be amazing for the Wild, but it kind of goes against their plan of maybe getting a little younger. And they're a team that, yeah, you add a Kessel to that team, they could be a much better team. But you know, you kind of have to have those other pieces working too. If they're really talking about moving out other names too, then it becomes, okay, well, who else are you going to pick up? Who else are we getting rid of? Are we getting rid of a guy like Spurgeon on the blue line who's been dangled out there apparently? Is Matt Dumba ever going to be an option to be traded? I personally don't think he should be, but who knows? His name's been out there before. I don't think it's possible. Pittsburgh, they gotta do something big, and it's looking like Kessel's the guy that they're going to move. It's pretty much a guarantee from what Pierre LeBrun was saying. And if that's the deal that happens, I don't know. That's up to you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think would be the best options for both teams to give up in a trade like that if Phil Kessel ends up going to Minnesota? This deal could just be all whatever, and Kessel says, no, I'm not going there. And then all of this is null and void. None of it even matters. But if this does happen, I don't know. This would be a big shakeup for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're bringing in a guy in Zucker who may be able to help them, and of course Rask as well if he can find something there. Johnson, that deal's a little expensive. He's not too bad, but I don't know how much he would really bring to that Minnesota team. And of course Kessel, just a dynamite player. So leave your suggestions down below. Is this trade going to happen, or is it just rumors? Hopefully you guys will subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. I'm getting on my way to 6,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all you guys for the support. And yeah, make sure to click the notification bell, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.